احمد ظاهر نامی که برای میلیون ها تن در درون و بیرون از افغانستان آشناست. او در 33 سال زندگیش 13 آلبوم رسمی آهنگ تهیه کرد. مادر اکنون برای نخستین بار فیلم مستند در مورد این هنرمند پرآوازه افغانستان ساخته می شود. امروز مهمان من سام فرنچ، کارگردان شناخته شده آمریکایی است که کارگردانی فیلم احمد ظاهر را به عهده دارد. سام فیلم مستند بچه‌های بزکشی را نیز کارگردانی کرده که نامزد جایزه اسکار هم بود. Hello and welcome Sam. First let me ask you that why Ahmad Zahir is important to you.
Well, I first went to Afghanistan to live there in 2008, and I encountered a country I certainly did not expect from the news that I had heard on Western media. I encountered a place full of incredibly hospitable people and a beautiful country, and my goal became to show another side of this often misunderstood country. And so I encountered Ahmad Zahir's music then when I was there, and I think is a perfect representation of a country that people most often don't see.
Thank you for this. As you know, Ahmad Zahir was also known as the Afghan Elvis. Do you see any similarities between the two stars of their times?
Yes, he's often compared to Elvis. I think there's some similarities, like the flamboyant style, the sideburns, but Ahmad Zahir is much, I think, more deeper than Elvis. He incorporated rock and roll music, but he also incorporated traditional Afghan music into his songs and ancient Persian poetry into his lyrics. And I think his connection with the Afghan people goes much deeper than Elvis's connection. I mean, his music still speaks to the hearts and the souls of Afghan people today and unites Afghans across all tribes and across the diaspora today, and unites Afghans across all tribes and across the diaspora.
So tell us more about the documentary itself that you're making on Ahmad Zahir's life.
Yeah, so Ahmad Zahir came to fame in the 60s and 70s. It was a very unique time in Afghanistan's history. It was a progressive change was sweeping the country. There was a great hope for the future. And I think he, as a person and through his music, encapsulates that hope and that time and that hope for change. And I think it's a time period most people don't know about. They see Afghanistan as a place of conflict, where there are terrorists roaming the countryside. And that's not the country I know, and it's a country I want to change perceptions of. And I think, speaking about the time period, 60s to 70s, when Ahmad Zahir was singing, and his life and his music and his hope for a beautiful future for his country, I think can speak to the world today, especially in this time of tribalism and identity politics. I think it's a much needed story that we need to tell right now.
Thank you. Do you plan to do part of the shooting of the documentary in Afghanistan?
Yes, I am. I've shot many films in Afghanistan. And, you know, one of the things I've always wanted to do is show the beauty of the country. In my film, Buzkashi Boys, I worked in collaboration with Afghans to make the film. And it was my great honor, we got an Academy Award nomination for the film. But even more than that, what was the best thing about that film was that it spoke to both the Western and Afghan. I really showed the beauty of the country and of its people. And I want to do the same with this film. I want to show the beauty of Afghanistan. So yes, we are going to go back to Afghanistan and film there and show another side of the country that people haven't seen.
And when will that be, do you know?
We're entering the development phase right now, so there's a lot of people to talk to. I mean, Ahmad Zahir touched so many people's lives, so I think the development process will take a few months. So I would say probably end of next year we'll be filming.
What do you show in the upcoming documentary that's unique and not seen by Ahmad Zahir's fans yet?
Well, one thing that we really want to dig into, and with the blessing of Shabnam, his daughter, who asked me to direct the film, is the mystery surrounding his death. There have been a lot of confusion and conflicting stories about that. You know, some people think that he was killed in a car crash in the Salang Pass. Others think that he was shot in the head by the Soviets because he was protesting and singing politically charged lyrics. So that's one thing we want to investigate, and we'll talk to as many people as we can who are witnesses and figure out exactly what happened.
So do you have any hard evidence of the incident that took place in Afghanistan back then?
No, not yet, but that's what we're going to start uncovering. The other thing I want to really show in this documentary is the fact that Ahmad Zahir came to fame in this 60s, and he speaks to a country that could have been through. It seems to some like a distant memory, but through this film and through the use of archival footage of Ahmad Zahir and the country itself and the time period, we can bring that country alive again and show a different side of Afghanistan.
You have directed, as you mentioned, the Buzkashi Boys, which was nominated for Oscars. What's your view on the upcoming documentary about Ahmad Zahir's life?
I think it will be a really important documentary, and of course, our goal is to get it seen by as wide an audience as possible. We've had incredible support from the Afghan diaspora and Afghans living in Afghanistan. And, we, as you may know, we are in the final stages of our fundraising campaign. So you have 2 days if you'd like to still donate to make this film happen and be a part of history. Because I think this film will not only speak to an Afghan audience, but an international audience, just like Buzkashi Boys did. And I think that's one of my main goals is to make this film universally accessible and show an Afghanistan that I love and that I know all of my Afghan friends love. And that's my goal.
Sam French, thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate it.
Thank you very much.